Steve Domenico from Domenico 101 MMA, and I have Billy the Kid Keenan on, who's going to be making his MMA pro debut for CES MMA 45 on August 11th in Twin Rivers, the home of CES. Billy, how you doing, buddy, and congratulations.
Thanks, man. I'm doing great. Doing great.
How's training going, knowing that you're going in 4 weeks, you're going to be making a pro debut? Has anything changed in the way you're training, or is it basically business as usual?
A little bit of business as usual. Obviously, you got to boost up your cardio. There's a couple more minutes in each round, but I'm familiar with going deep into fights. I've had a few title fights. I've had a few decision wins, and actually all of my losses are decision losses. So I've done basically a amateur championship fight that I ended up losing to Dan DeBorke at Cage Titans, which was 3 5-minute rounds, which is equivalent to pro fight. So
yeah,
I have the experience.
Yeah, that's like with the Dan fight. That's your only loss in your last 8 fights, and it went to a decision. So yeah, so that, I mean, you're 7-1 out of the last 8 fights. You're on a 3-fight winning streak. A couple of finishes in there. So that's a great thing to have finishing your AMI career. So I know your last fight was April 15th, and basically around in your area, right? In the North Shore Music Hall. Is that where it was last?
Yeah, North Shore Music Theater, Beverly.
Yeah.
I'm right over the bridge in Salem, so it was awesome.
Yeah, you do have a huge following, but that was closer to your home, and it was a special show. You basically. It seemed like 3/4 of that crowd was yours, and the place was electric. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's why I would like to fight there again. That's why I was saying the other day that I would like to get this fight in, no injuries, and then come back again. Because when it came down to that last card, it was me, Pedro Gonzalez, and Rico DeShulo, who were the bigger local names on that card. And growing up in this sport, you know, I've trained with City of Tong, North Shore earlier in my career, so I know some of those guys. I'm friendly with those guys. And then Pedro, he's my #1 trainer partner. And, you know, so anybody that didn't buy a ticket directly from me that bought it to see Pedro, they know me. So I had a little bit of Pedro's fans.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of Rico's fans being from Peabody. So realistically, I think between me and Pedro, we probably had the most fans there.
Yeah. That place was great. And Pedro, he had a great win himself. And you know, another. You guys, not only do you show it, you know, in your fighting, but you know, when you talk after the fight and the way you, you know, you thank the fans and people around you, and you guys are very humble and you're very intelligent in the way that you speak to the crowd, and it's very good and it's a very nice and warm feeling to watch after you just went into battle, to be able to be that humble and thank everybody and kind of show a little personal side of you, because it is a big moment for you to win a war in there, and to have all them fans there, that's definitely icing on the cake for you, huh?
Well, yeah, like when it comes down to it, yeah, I put in all the hard work and everything, and you know, but when it comes down to it, they're the ones that fill the seats, they buy the tickets, they deal with me calling them, asking for tickets.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, even before, during, and after the fights, when they have the T-shirts or they talk about the fight that they're going to, technically free publicity for me, you know. And then if I keep winning and they're walking around with the Billy Keenan shirt on 3 weeks after the fight, you know, oh, who's that kid? Oh, that was the kid in Beverly that fought. You know, like I said, I want to be remembered. Oh, that was the kid with the braids? Yeah, it wasn't the kid with the braids that lost. It was the kid with the braids that choked someone out or knocked someone up.
There you go, man. You have your trademark, right? I mean, them braids. I mean, there's not many people out there with them. So when they speak of the man with the braids, they're talking about the kid. That's definitely, and that was one of your quotes. I want to be that. I want to be the guy with the braids that goes in there and knocks somebody out, right?
Yeah, well, when it comes down to it, I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, there's naturally the guy with the braids is going to stand out. Person who started it off the most was, you know, Uriah Faber, little guy with the braids or whatever. But I have that marketing image, and not to mention I come to fuck people up. So
Yeah. And you're on social media, and you're also a coach too, and you work at the gym and stuff. So you're totally into the lifestyle. So you're selling yourself basically every day, which is great for a young pro.
Yeah.
So that's great.
And what's great about the whole teaching thing now, it's end game is what I want to do. I want to teach the skills that I was taught, and that's one thing. Like when I go to class, this kind of started as a cardio kickboxing class, and then I have people that are literally interested in the art of learning how to like kick and turn over a kick, and why do you always do this combo and this and that, and explaining and teaching and seeing people absorb what I'm teaching them and actually excelling and getting better. There's no better feeling, and it's another drive to get up and to go to the gym, because I'm taking this class with them, and I'm busting my butt with them. They're getting me to sweat. I'm getting them to sweat. So just as much as these could be either soccer moms or people that are in probably better shape than half of the fighters that come strolling into weigh-ins, like in this class,
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, their family too. They're getting me there, and those people will be the people buying my tickets too. So
Excellent. And the cool thing about that, you teaching, I speak to other fighters that that's their main source of income too is teaching. They tell me they get benefits out of it because training and your techniques, they get so fluent that you don't really have to think about them after a while. But when you're actually showing somebody the techniques, you start breaking them down a little bit yourselves and understanding them again, because you're not doing them in that natural speed. You're doing them slower to show somebody else. So I've talked to a bunch of fighters that really like that teaching mode, because it hones them into their own craft when they're trying to show their art to someone who's not advanced as much as them.
And the one thing that I like about the teaching aspect too is that these people are here when it's not like an MMA gym or a strictly kickboxing gym, Muay Thai gym, something like that. With this aspect, they come in knowing that they're a little bit ignorant to the sport, knowing that they don't know much. They see me throwing it, making it look easy, but then when I'm explaining, you want to pivot on this foot, you want to open up your hips, you want to bring the kick down, think of like this and like that, and it's things I don't even think about when I'm just sitting there rolling on the bag myself. So when I tell myself that again, and then I'm demonstrating it, it keeps it fresh in my head too, and it might have been something you learned day two in training, It's
great stuff. You can never, keep absorbing and going back and going over and refreshing your mind with, techniques that you already have, but to understand them. But, all right, Billy, let's talk about what's going to be happening on August 11th. You're making your debut for CES. We knew it was coming. We knew you were getting that signing because Pat Sullivan did mention it at the end of your last fight. So now we've been waiting for the signing. We got the signing. So now we have a matchup. You're actually fighting another dude coming into town. He's making his pro debut. So how are you feeling about this fight and fighting for CES as a pro in general? Because there's another thing, Matt Bissett, who is the featherweight champion, I do believe that belt is going to be vacant, and you newcomers coming in, that's something to keep your eye on, correct?
100%. And basically what it is, it's basically a piece of movement for us young guys. And when it comes to my gym, with 45ers or potential 45ers, but we got weight everywhere, but people that you can see wearing that belt, and when I say from Redline, that's the only gym that's going to be eventually wearing that strap. It's going to be Pedro that's going to come up and take that strap, because he was supposed to potentially fight Bissett.
Yeah.
And I realistically, I don't see anybody else taking the belt other than Pedro. But again, similar situation. Pedro's at that brink of big show too, so that could be something where it's whoever wins this belt next could be on a big show. But right after that, I'm coming up. This is my pro debut. But a teammate of mine, Stud, is going Don Shanis.
Oh, my boy. I love Don. Yeah, he's a hell of a guy. He's awesome. Yeah, and yeah, he's kind of, he's ready to sprout somewhere too, right? He's been, his last fight was for Bellator, great showing, but he's ready to throw down again, I would figure.
Yeah, and I gotta give it to the kid. I felt bad, he gets the call for Bellator, and great matchup for him. He fucking killed training camp and everything, and he finds out that night he's swing fight.
Yeah.
And he didn't end up fighting until almost 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's a little tough, and
yeah,
when it comes to this sport, and then especially this area, they might judge someone like him, but dude, I want to see you fucking have to be at the fight or the venue at 5, 6 o'clock, and then end up fighting at 12, almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And judge their performance. But it is what it is. He's in my side. You know what I mean? I'm training with that kid.
Yeah.
For this. This is my first pro fight. And this is this kid's first pro fight. But every time I go to the gym, I get into a pro fight.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah, you're training constantly with killers. I mean, just the two names right there, and Pedro. And it's funny. I put that out on social media as far as, hey, how I always want to put a question out there and just get things rumbling. And I did mention about that belt being vacant, and a couple of people did say Pedro, and so a lot of people were liking the post. So people are definitely staring at that belt. That's going to be a big thing when it happens. And I would imagine Pedro would be on the top of the list. But he needs an opponent, so there's going to be people scratching to be that opponent. So it's great for everything. It's great for your division. It's great for you because it's out of your camp. So I mean, you might be co-headlining someday on one of those cards. But you have a huge fight again on the 11th. We're 4 weeks away. When do you actually right now? We're about 4 weeks. Have you started your training camp? Got into the grit of it yet?
I like to think the grit is realistically the end when I'm trying to find out that when I have to cut down on food intake, and that's more like portions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When do I go to more protein but in smaller portions? Am I going to do my shakes as meal substitutes, or am I going to have a little bit of chicken? So I feel like that's when I got to break it down. But it was easy money making weight last time, especially coming from one of the heaviest I've been going into a weight camp. I was close to 185 going into the fight camp for that last fight. And I actually cut under. Didn't really cut. I woke up, did a regular workout, and I was at weight. So yeah, basically I woke up close to weight. I had a couple pounds, and I just did my normal, go to the gym, get a little sweat on, dry off, and basically just hang out. And I ended up weighing in underweight, and I was the bigger fighter in that fight. So, and there's also the thought of, somebody like CES person that I followed, local guy, Rob Font. He crushed people at 45 at CES, but he's in the UFC now. He's a significant fighter there, pretty active.
Yeah.
And he's a 35er now. And watching him fight, you're like, wow, I wouldn't think he'd be a 35er, but if that's something I would have to do down the line, that's something that I always keep in mind, seeing how the weight cut was a little bit easier. But other than that, this is where it really gets picked up. You're normally training 5 days a week, but now I'm training 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Busting, humping. The days off are kind of scattered depending on how the body feels and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel good, and I'm training for 15 minutes, but I'd be lying to you if I didn't want it to last 15 seconds. I want to get in, I want to get out, and I want to be in Beverly. So
to celebrate, not on a quick finish, which you're used to in a few of your fights. So it's there, brother. And I know you're going to be training and kicking your ass to get here, because this is a huge moment for you. making your pro debut for CES, and you wanted to do this, and you came back. You put on a show last fight, and they offered you the contract and said, let's show the rest of the world what this young kid can do. So Billy, I wish you luck, man. I'll be seeing you soon. I'll be seeing you at weigh-ins. I think I'll be interviewing your opponent down the line. I'll let this interview sink in with them. But I'll be seeing you, brother, and I can't wait to see you put on that show. Before you go, I want you to give out a couple of shout-outs and how we get in touch with you on social media.
Yeah, so, got a shout out to my gyms, North Shore Muay Thai Academy, Mark Meltzer, Redline Fight Sports up in Cambridge, Mass. We be killing it out there. Too many coaches to name, but they all know who they are. Also, Rec Fitness, Beverly, Massachusetts on Cabot Street. Come and check me out, get you in shape. And social media, Instagram, it's B Keens Ninja. That's for Instagram. Facebook is Billy the Kid Keenan. That's the fan page, or Billy Keenan. I'm pretty active on both. And I don't have a Twitter, so I need to get working on that stuff.
That's all right. You got time. You're a young pro. That shit'll come in. After this next fight, somebody will probably make a Twitter for you. So
yeah. Well, I'm planning on kicking this kid's head off.
Well,
so.
I figure. What was the line you gave to me?
This kid's coming to die. He's gonna have a long trip back to New York, and he can hear this interview. He can get mad as he wants. That's the last thing that he wants, is to fuel me before this fight. I'm very humble.
Yes.
So I plan on going in there and punching his fucking head off, but after the bell rings, I'll pick him up, put his head back on, and buy him a beer. But I'm not going to lie to you, he's going to have a sad ride home.
I can't wait to see this fight, my friend. I can't wait to see your debut. Thank you for coming on, Bill. Train safe, buddy. And I'll see you in about 3.5 weeks or so.
All right, see you there.
All right, buddy. Take care.